Hello friends, how are you all? This is Lakshya Arora and welcome back to my channel. So in this video I'm going to share some Maven interview questions which are generally asked in your DevOps interview. So let's get started. I have created a list of this Maven interview questions. So first of all, what is Maven? So Maven is basically a build tool. It is basically used to build your Java projects and it is used for project management. So if you have built any Java project in your current role, then you must be using Maven. Companies also use Ant, but as compared to Ant, Maven is more preferred. So it is a project management tool and it provides a complete build lifecycle framework. So Maven has a build lifecycle, default lifecycle, build lifecycle, and clean site. These are the build lifecycles. We will discuss about them. And it uses standard directory layout. So Maven basically uses a standard directory layout and it is simple and fast tool which is basically used to build your Java projects. And we can work on multiple projects with the help of Maven. As compared to Ant, we cannot work with multiple projects. Ant is basically a toolbox, but Maven provides us a complete framework and it uses declarative language so that you only need to make changes in your pom.xml file. You only need to whatever changes you need to do, you can do, and then you can start building the project using Maven. So this is all about Maven, just a brief introduction. And the second question, why we should use Maven. So as I told, Maven helps us to set up project very quickly and avoids build complicated issues. Like it is basically based on pom.xml file, and complicated build files like build.xml file, we don't encounter these type of issues in Maven usually if everything is correct. So with Maven we can build up our project very simply and easily and at a high speed. Next question, what is convention over configuration? So Maven basically follows convention over configuration rule. So like in configuration, we need to configure the build process manually and need to specify each and every configuration in details. Whereas in Maven, we don't need to specify any configuration. It simply uses the convention. It will build your job automatically, no need to specify configuration, and automatic structure is created. We just need to place the files in the directory and automatic structure will be created. Fourth question, what is POM? Project object model. It is basically a project object model file .xml file which contains all the dependencies required by a project. If you want to build any project using Maven, obviously you will be needing this file. This is the base of Maven. And it consists of the project configurations, libraries, plugins, goals, project version, distributions, build profiles, plugins, all this stuff. Fifth question is Maven life cycle. So Maven life cycle is basically Maven has three life cycles. Default life cycle is also called build life cycle, clean and site. So these life cycles are further categorized into goals or phases, you can say. Default or build life cycle consists of validate phase, compile phase, test phase, package, integration test, verify, install, deploy. Validate phase means like if you run this phase mv and validate, it will basically validate your source code to check that all the necessary files are present, all the dependencies are there in your source code. So it will validate that. After that, it will compile that source code, and after compilation, it will test your source code to verify like everything happened and compilation happened successfully. It will test that. It will run a unit testing framework for testing. After that, it will package your code into a jar file or war file, and after the code is packaged, it will run integration test on your package to verify that the package file is correct and there are no issues. Verification, and then install means it will basically install your war file, that means your package locally means on your system. And then deploy is mainly used if you want to deploy our installed package to some shared location. Like maybe if you want to deploy the package to Azure Artifacts Maven feed, then also you will use this mvn deploy command. So this is basically the default lifecycle with all its different goals. Next comes the clean lifecycle. Clean lifecycle is basically used to clean up all the previous builds matter. Like Maven basically uses this lifecycle to clean up all the tasks, or to clean up all the builds which are generated, to clean up all the configuration files which are generated by your previous builds. And then site lifecycle is basically used for documentation purpose. Next is, what is the use of this command? This is often asked. MVN clean dependency copy dependencies package. What is the use of this command? So MVN clean dependency, this will first clean up your target directory, working directory, as I told. It will clean up your working directory which contains all the files generated by your previous build. So it will clean up all that, and then it will copy the dependencies and it will package that into a war file. Clean lifecycle phases. So clean lifecycle, this is a clean lifecycle which I discussed. It has three phases: pre-clean, clean, post-clean. Similarly, site lifecycle has also four phases: pre-site, site, post-site, and site deploy. It is basically used for your project documentation purpose. Types of Maven repositories. Next question is types of Maven repositories. So in Maven we have three types of repositories: local, central, and remote. Local means your repository which belongs to a local system. The path is this .m2 directory. And the central is basically a Maven shared, you can say shared repository. And remote repository, like which your developers manage, that is a remote repository. Like we have GitHub, similarly we have a remote repository in Maven. So Maven basically searches for your dependencies locally, and then it searches for central and then remote. This question I will discuss. So types of build profiles, we have three types of build profiles in Maven: per project, per user, and global. Per project build profile means, like if you want to change anything or if you want to create a build profile in Maven, if it is at the project level, obviously you will be doing the changes in pom.xml file, project pom.xml file. Per user is like it is at the scope of settings.xml file, and global is like global settings.xml file. Steps in which Maven searches for dependencies: it first searches the dependencies locally, and then central, after that remote. If in case it does not find out the dependency in either of the repository, then it will mark the build as fail. So when Maven uses external dependencies management, so as I told, if like we need to configure this external dependencies management explicitly. If in case our build or dependency is not found in locally, in central, or remote, in either of the location our dependency is not found, then Maven uses external dependencies management to find your dependency libraries. Types of Maven plugins. So Maven has two types of plugins: build plugin and reporting plugin. This is a basic question. This is generally not asked, but still I incorporated it because you should know if you are working with Maven tool. So types of Maven plugins are build and reporting plugin. Build plugin, like if you are building a project through Maven, obviously you will need a build plugin. Reporting plugin is mainly used like for documentation purpose. You need this plugin. Why are Maven plugin used? Maven plugin are used for these reasons. If you want to create a jar file, if you want to create a Maven artifact, obviously you will be needing a plugin. If you want to build your code, you will be needing a plugin. So to create jar file, war file, for compilation, testing, Maven, to execute all the goals of Maven, you need Maven plugins. To create project documentation, to create project reports. So for all that purpose, you need Maven plugin. Types of Maven plugins: build and reporting plugin. This I already told you. What is Archetype? Archetype is basically a Maven plugin used to create project structure as per its template. It is also a Maven plugin, one of the Maven plugin. So does Maven determine what version of dependency will be used when multiple artifact versions are encountered? Yes, it will check for the version of the dependency. In case we have two dependencies with the same hierarchy, they are having the same hierarchy, then it will choose the dependency which was declared earlier. What are the packaging values for packaging element? these are the valid packaging values. Packaging value means like valid package formats which are generated from Maven build. Jar file can be generated, war file can be generated, POM or ER file. POM is basically as I told, it is basically the source code. It is present in source code. In case you do not define any specific packaging element, then jar is the default one. What is execution element? So this element contains information required for execution of a plugin. Obviously, when you will be building a Java project through Maven, you will be using plugins. So to execute that plugin, this execution element comes into play. How to build a project offline? So you can use this command mvn o stands for offline, and then package. So what it will do, it will like execute all the goals up till package. Like as I told, these are the goals, validate, compile, test, package. If you run this command mvn o package, then it will execute all these goals till package. If you specify mvn install, it will execute all these phases till install. It will first validate, then compile, test, package, till install it will do. So these were the most generic questions, even some of the questions I faced in my interview. So if you want, like if you are having any doubt in any question, you can comment in the comment section. I will definitely try to reply on that as early as possible. So yeah, that's it for this video, guys. So thank you. Bye bye.